Hello.
Hi, how are my girls tonight?
Okay, for those of you that remember the fiasco that your resident strawberry blonde did and didn't go live for the first 15 minutes, I did it tonight. I graduated to the right side of the world.
Woohoo!
Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. How's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good. I had a good day at work. Um, I got a lot of stuff accomplished, so I felt good about it.
That's fantastic.
How about you, Miss Candy?
Like, it's going to be a short week for me, so I'm really looking forward to it. I have Thursday and Friday off, my two first days of vacation for the year, and actually they're carryover from last year that I didn't use. And if I don't use them, I lose them. So I'm going to enjoy Thursday and Friday.
Absolutely.
You gonna come up here and visit me?
No. Not yet. Later this year, we will be coming up your way.
You better, Missy.
Well, you're always welcome to come down here, but no, I've got to come up to you. What is that? What is that?
My father-in-law lives with us, essentially.
That's the reason why you need to get away for a little while.
Yeah, I know. Well, and yes, we do need to catch up in person soon, young man.
Hi, Will. Nice to see you.
See Mother Nature said it was supposed to, we all know that we sprung forward or whatever it is we've done.
Mm-hmm.
If someone would kindly remind Mother Nature that that's where we are as well. I'm ready to put away the long sleeves, the sweatshirts and such. I'm ready for some warmer weather. Okay, thanks.
Okay,
you got to come down and visit me. It's 78 degrees down here right now. Tomorrow's high is 84. So come on down.
Do you see that this is all natural? Do you know what happened when I came to Miami this year? Fortunately enough, I had a hair thing that I could put my hair up and get back on the ship. There was a lot of it.
Oh, that's funny.
Will is going to message Jennifer. That's awesome. Awesome.
Sorry, I was sharing our podcast with people. Sorry, ladies.
No, you're fine. Good.
Okay, Will, message me, but message me when you have time, not just, hi, I'll talk to you later. Because that's starting to hurt my feelings a little bit. So we're going to be having a nice...
I do want to send a shout out to those that are in Baltimore and the tragedy that happened this morning. I can't imagine what it has felt like for them. Because
and how long they're going to have be impacted.
There's just so much.
Yeah.
And it was a little discerning how fast it went down to me. I'm like, Colby's had Lego projects that stayed up better than that being hit. I realized there was so much there, but I was like, it was shocking to me how quickly it fell.
Sweet spot.
But at the sweet spot. I have to give kudos to the crew that messaged them that said they were in distress, because had they not done that, there would have been many more cars on that bridge.
100%.
And the fact that it happened later at night at 1:30 in the morning, as opposed to like during day rush hour. I can only imagine.
It's very frightening, the thought of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is.
Very frightening. And ironically, I don't know if anybody watched Bull on the show on CBS. We started binge watching it recently, and they actually had an episode where a section of a bridge was gone, and one of their employees, the whole show, they wrote the person out of the script. But how they did was that person didn't know the bridge was out and drove, and there was like a stockpile of cars that drove off the edge of the bridge and later to be recovered as deceased. So I'm like, that was a really frightening way. And then this morning when I saw that, I was like, that was television brought to life this morning. So it's been kind of a little bit of a mind warp for me in the fact that I'm like, who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that was when you sent that, like my Citizen Alert app kept going off this morning and I was like, oh my God, another stabbing, another carjacking, another blah, blah, blah. So I didn't expect to see that until like you messaged. And like right at the same time I saw your message, like I saw the Citizen with the Francis Scott Key. So, and like you said, props, because there's still dive teams out there. I think last I saw they had saved 2 people. There's still 6 crewmen who were working on the bridge that are unaccounted for, but I think most of the people in cars got out.
I think they stopped most of the cars before getting on.
Well, I will.
No, I mean the cars that got sent overboard, because there were still some cars on the bridge, and when it happened, some pictures you could see some of that. But yeah,
there was a video that I've seen, and I don't even know who shared it or whatever, but it was like video feed from the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch the fire go. I mean, you watch a fireball, and there was car lights, and then they saw the fireball.
Yeah.
So it could have been bumper to bumper traffic, and that would have been devastating. I mean, that makes me think of when San Francisco had the earthquake during the World Series back in, was that 88, 89?
89?
89. Yes. No, it could have been fall of 88. It could have been fall of 88. It could have been the World Series, the 88 World Series. I was at Missouri Southern State College. So it was either my freshman or sophomore year. I have an anchor. I was in government science class when it collapsed.
Government science, 1989 World Series.
Okay.
So let's move on. So we've had a couple of changes. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm cautiously optimistic about my Panthers this year. Don't worry. I'm not going off the chain, but I'm actually liking what Canales and Morgan are doing. Now, if Mr. Tepper can actually let them do their job, because I get it. He's a control freak. I'm a control freak. No, should be no harm, no foul, but sadly there's some harm. But I'm pretty much liking what we're doing there. That's just my little... I'm optimistically impressed right now. I'm
wondering if you and I are going to be against each other in Munich.
I've wondered that too. If that's the case, then we need to apply for press passes. We can share a hotel room. It's fine.
Sure.
What? you get press passes. Your butt's going. But so we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the changes the NFL has made. Sorry, I've just been wanting to say that publicly about my Panthers lately. So I know that you guys have all heard about like the hip drop tackle. So I don't know if you girls have been reading Twitter or not, but the players are freaking hilarious. They're like, all right, one step closer to flag football because it's just a tackle. Or like Trey Boston cracks me up. He was like, oh, so if we can't hip tackle there, can we get the offensive linemen to stop coming with their chest puffed out? No. Why? Because it's ridiculous. I was like, okay, that's funny.
I think I'm honestly for it because I feel like it's more of a WWE move as opposed to an actual football tackle when you're grabbing by the ankles and letting them pull you, because that's where you're going to get the torn ACLs and MCLs and all the knee issues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've watched the Chargers pick up and body slam Travis Kelce, and he is not a tiny man. So, I mean, I've seen all of these, and I don't think that the WWE moves have any business inside the NFL. which I kind of think that the hip tackle, the drop tackle is moving towards that. I understand the whole play out, and I understand that it does make it more challenging. However, do we want our players injured? Do we want the outcome of, pivotal games, championships, all that to be because someone tackled and yanked someone's towards the MCL? And it's happened to there was 2 players that happened to, that got injured in that pivotal game to get us to our first Super Bowl in 2020. So I see it as a win, although I understand exactly what they're saying is like, well, you keep taking away options. But what I do love is they are going to allow roughing the passer to be a reviewable, and the field can be overturned by the review official. Did you see that?
Yes. But here's my thing. My counter argument with the hip tackle is, and with this, if they're going to do reviews, then they need to start kind of doing what the XFL is doing and using cameras for everything and doing an automatic review. Because how many times have we all seen, and Candy, you've probably seen it more than Carrie and I, because a lot of times you're up close and personal, where helmet to helmet goes unaccounted for. Brain trauma scares me more than an MCL. I'm sorry, MCL, ACL can be corrected and it can be fixed. Like Alton, my husband's torn both of his ACLs. One of them has just kind of built itself back up. So, but he's a freak of medicine. I don't know. But did I lose you guys?
Let's face it though, they are trying to improve the safety of the game. And
they are.
They're saying that this particular tackle has an injury rate of 20 to 25% times higher than that of other tackles. So they do. So I get there's going to be a fine line. There's always going to be a fine line, whatever, on all of these, and they're all interpretive. So as long as everybody is educated the same, all the players, all the coaches, and all the refs, so they're consistent when they're calling it. I think that's what everybody's so upset about, is the consistency of the calls, that they have to be the same for everybody.
Well, they do. And it's not fair that they're not.
They should.
Because everybody's going to remember this one, because everybody still thinks New Orleans was just the victim in this play. But against the Chargers and the NFL and the playoffs, and they were at Mercedes-Benz Dome, people forget that the exact same call had happened, but in the Saints' favor the play before. People forget that. That was them playing even Steven. And so it is a catch-22, because the refs are getting crapped on when they are calling it fair, and they're getting crapped on when they're not.
For certain. I don't understand why the XFL has better technology than the NFL.
Because the NFL is a bigger corporation and it's more expensive. But they should do it.
Why is the NFL, who is a billion-dollar industry?
Mm-hmm. I've been advocating for this since I first saw the XFL play. Sorry for cutting you off. But do y'all see what Bo's saying? Can you read it, Carrie?
Kind of.
The problem is the hip drop happens. Go ahead, Candy.
In a natural tackling motion, and the player is ahead of the defender when you're coming from the side. You basically have to let them score with the new rule.
He's right.
But your defense was not set up appropriately. So they took it. The offense took advantage. If they got ahead of your defense, the offense figured out a way to get ahead of your defensive players. I'm just saying, we can go all different ways with this. And I understand and I agree. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that if we're going to advocate player safety, grabbing someone by their ankles and yanking them down when they are running, however fast they are, and the force that person falls with, it's a safety issue. And you know, I didn't realize it was 25% more injury, but Mark Andrews is the reason why we have this. He had that twice in one game, and that's what took him out of part of the season. Would that have changed the Ravens' outcome? Because he came back for the championship game.
I will say this, and people are not going to like this. No disrespect to Lamar, because I've had a quarterback do the same thing Lamar did. Okay? So mad love, mad respect, mad props. One player cannot win a game. Lamar did this very well. Patrick Mahomes may be the exception, but he has Travis to help him.
He doesn't do it by himself. He's a band.
But Lamar does. So that is why you can't do that. Lamar was trying to win everything on his own. The only
ironically
was a little taller.
He had the Cam catch his own pass. Cam caught his own pass against us. Yeah. Lamar caught his own pass against us.
But I mean,
that happened, I was like, oh, Cam Newton 2.0. That's awesome.
You can't here's the thing. You can't, well, people have been saying that about the Lamar for a long time, but then they kind of got away from it. But my thing is, I think this is where it needs to be more subjective. Not necessarily just say you can't do it, but if you're doing it to hurt a player, that's when the penalties are called. That's what I think, because you're taking out because I've watched Thomas Davis. I've watched some of your guys, Carrie. I've watched some of your guys, Candy, carefully tackle a quarterback and sack their ass. And you can do that. TD did it to Tony Romo in 2015 Cowboys-Panthers game and on Thanksgiving. Thomas Davis, I loved him before, but I fell a little more in love with him. Came, hugged him, took him down, brought him down on him so that he didn't get his shoulder messed up again. That's how you rightfully tackle and sack a quarterback.
I think that's the problem is I think that people are looking at it as across the board, blah, 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 but it's to deter the dirty tackles.
Right. And
if this is the only way you're going to get tackled, are you willing to get a penalty in a 15 yards down the field? Is that something you're willing to do?
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm like, it happens. And sometimes those tackles are weird, but we know there are people out there that are intentionally tackling.
Oh, yeah. Crabtree, the dude who got banned, Burkhoff, what's his name? He started last name B. He played for the Bengals.
You're going to get words. You're going to get names that are not right. So I'm not even going to try to guess from you.
No, he was a dirty player. He and Crabtree.
That's what I'm glad for, is that it is a deterrent. It's not going to fix it, but it is a deterrent for those that are like, well, I can just say this was my only option. And
yeah.
Oh, so sad. Too bad your star player is no longer on the field.
So, Candy, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the new kickoff rule too.
Yep, bring that in.
I thought that was very interesting because it's going to be more like the XFL where they have two position players in the back. They have everybody up on the line and they have to wait until the ball is kicked and either it drops or they catch it before anybody moves. So you're going to find, I think, that the return man is going to be much more important. Let's put it that way, and they're not going to have the same. It's going to be very interesting because like the offsides kicks, they're going to be very different.
I think the kicking back as a pivotal play again, as opposed to, they're just going to kick it out in the end zone. Oh, it's just going to go in the end zone, because that's what 90% of Harrison Butker's kicks are going to go straight into the end zone. Mm-hmm. It's going to make it more of a play now.
Correct. Because now they can't do the fair catch, I believe. Mm-mm. They've got.
No, if it lands in the 20 from the goal line to the 20-yard line, it has to be run.
Touchbacks
You
will
have
come
to
back
run.
to the 30-yard line instead of the 25.
So
Kicks.
we're gonna be real quick because we don't have a lot of time left, y'all. But this will be interesting. I don't know how much I love the new kickoff rule. I really don't. I'm very conflicted on it. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it would
I
bring
mean,
more
I
interest.
love it if
to
it
the
works out in
game.
my team's favor, but I'm gonna hate it when it works out in Carrie's team's favor.
I like it because it goes back to being more of a football play. That's
Right.
what it is. It goes back to the original of the game where they're still going to be playing. It's not just going to be, oh, I'm going to kick it into the end zone and okay, now the offense
And
comes
jump
out
the line to try to stop it. Yeah.
It's an actual play as opposed to, we're going to kick this and now the offense is going to come on the field. That's what happens.
Right,
90%
I'm
of
going to fair catch it. I'm going to fair catch it. Oh, boom. That's it.
Yeah.
So what's new in the world of baseball right now, ladies? Speaking of catching things.
Opening day is this week officially for all of the teams. Some of them it's Thursday. I think some of them are Friday. All I'm going to say is I want to call out to all the pitchers that are injured already.
Oh gosh.
The Marlins pitching staff has been decimated. Like Sandy Alcantara, he had surgery, so he's out for the whole year. Their rookie Yuri Perez from last year, he's got elbow inflammation, is going to be out a couple of weeks. They have two other, Braxton Garrett, he's out right now, injured. Rodriguez, there's another one that's like, there's just been so many injuries that I think it's really going to play a role and have a huge effect on the game. And I don't know if I go back to, for years, we've heard of people, or should I say players, that only play one sport. We got to be so focused on one sport. The problem with that is you're only exercising that same motion, that same arms, and you're wearing them out. Whereas if you are a more versatile player and play multiple sports, you're exercising all different motions and all different muscles. And I don't think you are as prone to some of the injuries. And these people are thinking they got to throw things 300 miles an hour.
Right.
Every time, I don't know. I just know there's a lot of injuries and opening days this week, and it's going to be interesting.
I'm excited about fireworks in Uptown Charlotte again. I feel like I'm freezing and my face looks weird in my screen. So sorry if I look weird to y'all. So we have also had March Madness going on. And honestly, this week I will be hosting the Sip Off. Thank you, Megan, for the trust and confidence you have in me. We'll be going over what's gone on so far with March Madness. And just quickly, ladies, who do y'all think the Cinderella story is this year?
I'd like it to be Marquette. I don't know if it's that's a big Cinderella story. They've number two. They're
Bloods, aren't they?
What?
Isn't Marquette a blue blood? Or are they close on the cusp?
They were ranked number two. They've been up in the top 25 for a lot of the season, but I just, they're my hometown. I mean, they're back from Wisconsin. They're one of my teams. So
they're your boos. All right, Carrie, who do you think?
I'm not going to do that. Go ahead and talk about yours because before I lead into our happy story, I have one other thing I want to talk to you. It's about the Iowa State Cyclone female player. So,
okay. I think for men's, it's NC State, North Carolina State University. Y'all know I'm Heels fan. But honestly, they are doing a phenomenal job. Like, I kind of forget I don't really like them because I find myself rooting for them until they play Carolina. Then I'm sorry, it's going to be Heels. I mean, Armando Bacot, Coach Davis, RJ, they've all been so gracious to me when I met them at tip-off. And also, this guy's Carolina blue, just saying. And last time that there was going to be a championship game without Carolina in it, little pandemic happened worldwide. So, all right, We only have like 2 minutes left, I think.
I
We
want
have
to shout out to Iowa State Cyclone Audie Crooks for her 44-point game. And I
Mhm.
know that she has been people have been challenging her based on her size. Go get yours, Miss Crooks. Go get yours. I
Yeah,
am so
seriously.
excited for her. And my goodness,
Yep.
congrats. And she's a
Chunky girls
freshman.
are athletic too, so bite me because I'm athletic and I'm chunky.
Oh, we won't go there because it's a whole new other episode. And then I got to watch Caitlin Clark take her last dance on Iowa's court. That was pretty good. It was a very intensive game. The Mountaineers did a really good job of containing both Caitlin and the team, and so it was really hard. They kept Caitlin from being able to get to her scorers and be able to score. So shout out to them. They did a great job. It just they tired out at the end of the game. Like you could physically watch them that they had exhausted and they were running on empty. And that's where the difference became at the end of the game. But it was a close game through and through. So great job. It was a great defensive game to watch. And it was really neat to watch. The stands did not clear when the game was over. The fans in the stand that were there for Iowa were staying there to savor that moment with Caitlin. That was really, really cool to see. So
That was a really good game.
Yeah, it was really good. It was fun to watch. It really was.
Oh. Now, Candy, I know we're about to close up, but tell everybody about your show.
So following this over on the South Florida Tribune's YouTube channel will be Inside the Pigskin, where we're talking more NFL. And it's led by my husband, Scott. And there will be Bo, who has been in our chat room tonight. He's actually on the show. And former NFL player Melfar Jr.
Hello, Mel.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Your husband, I too.
Yes.
Well, ladies, thank you guys for a great show. To our listeners, if y'all have any suggestions for us, hit us up. Hit us up on Facebook, Instant Messenger. You can tweet at us at 3 Chicks in a Pod. You can also tweet Scott's. I'm throwing out Scott's page here too. You can also let Scott know who will tell Megan at South Florida Tribune. I mean, who will tell Candy? God. And you can also tweet Megan at Queen of Hopes. And I'll see a lot of you guys on Thursday. Candy will see you guys in a few minutes. And Carrie, we're working on some other ideas too.
I'm going to quick plug my husband's book, Lessons from the Microphone. Yes. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, and Barnes & Noble.
Do I have that link?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. I need you to give me the link.
I think we put it up. We'll put it up again on the Facebook
page. Okay. Yep. And thank you guys. See y'all in 7.
Thank you. Enjoy.